lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Manny.
And today we're going to be talking about Robocop, #1 for Marvel Comics. What's there to say about Robocop? I love Robocop. I was
Dude,
recently.
it's literally one of my favorite movies. I mean, if you could see my apartment now, like I have a Robocop movie poster over my desk here. I have at least 6 pieces of commissioned art that I've commissioned a bunch of people that we know to draw me Robocop. I have a whole shelf of Robocop toys. Like Robocop was huge for me as a kid and continues to be huge for me. I mean, I was playing the fucking video game last night.
Yeah, so, I mean, I just recently rewatched the first 2 movies.
They're so good. I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I knew I watched at least the first one when I was little. I couldn't remember everything from the movie because I hadn't seen it since I was younger. And then there's this scene where he starts getting blasted away, right as he's getting killed. I was like, oh my God, immediately the memories came back and I was like,
yeah,
holy shit, I can't believe I watched this.
Yeah,
when I was that young. I'm like, no wonder I turned out the way I did,
Dude, I mean, like, you know how people say I learned about death from watching Bambi? I'm pretty sure I learned about death by watching Robocop.
Yeah, and he just gets like ripped apart. Such a great, there's such fun movies. I absolutely love them. So immediately I started like, obviously we've done an episode on the Robocop Terminator crossover, but I had no Robocop comics, so I started looking them up and I picked up a good chunk. I don't know how long this run goes on for, but I picked up 1 through 18. And I'm,
it goes into the late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, so I'm excited to kind of finish off that run, and I'm excited to talk about this. Before we get into it, though, I want to remind everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Check out some of the rest of the awesome videos we have on the channel. And let's jump into this, dude. So we got Alan Grant is the writer, Lee Sullivan,
which makes sense. I mean, Alan Grant wrote a shit ton of Judge Dredd and
shit ton of
when they were conceived. There's a great documentary called RoboDoc. It's like 3 hours long, and it's all about like the making of RoboCop from the beginning of the concept to all the way through all the sequels and everything. And they specifically talk about how Judge Dredd was a starting point and influential thing for them and you can tell,
And we got Lee Sullivan, who I'm not familiar with, penciling, Kim DeMulder on inks, Steve White's the colorist. Such a fun book, dude.
It really
didn't
is,
disappoint at all.
It's better than I read it as a kid. I would pick up the issues on the newsstand. I didn't really remember them. In the last couple of years, anytime I see one in a dollar bin, I pull it, and I'm impressed. Like, it's actually really good. It's better than like what you would expect a tie-in like this would be.
Yeah, well, because like this says, it's based on the motion picture, but it isn't. It's not adapting anything. Like, this is all content.
And this is before RoboCop 2, so like these are all stories that are like original, and I mean, maybe it is after RoboCop 2 because they do mention the drug nuke, I think, or maybe they don't.
They mention nuke, but maybe they had advanced look at the story because they do an adaptation, which I also picked up, the 3-issue adaptation of number 2.
Yeah.
But this is March '90, which means this came out January. If it's dated March, right? So that means they were working on this in '89. So, and RoboCop 2 was 1990. Yeah, I love these guys are on flying bikes. I mean, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's this
very cyberpunk, like the Judge Dredd influence is really heavy in this, and it obviously it's tame because this is a comic book meant for kids. And how crazy is it that something like RoboCop even had comics for kids, a cartoon, toys? I mean, they gave no shits in the 80s and 90s, man. Like,
no, dude, like I said, I was watching that shit. I saw that when I was a little kid. I don't know how young I was, but I know I was pretty young when I watched the first RoboCop, for sure. I had the toys, I didn't have any of the comics. I watched the cartoon, but like, it is wild to think of like a rated R movie now has a comic book that's attracting children, because like, if this is your introduction to RoboCop and you're at the newsstand, you see RoboCop #1, you're gonna want to watch the movie.
And you're going to go to the video store, your mom's going to let you rent it, and you're going to see some serious shit.
Exactly, dude. Like you said, like, this is a really fun comic. You got these, like, the urban curs, like these guys on these biker guys, like cyberpunk, like you said, a little bit. And then we got RoboCop coming. The only gripe I have about this is I wish they would have leaned into visually showing what RoboCop sees.
I love this page, and I love how the credits are on like a wrestling poster. Like, what a great first page. I mean, as a RoboCop fan, like I would totally buy this piece of art.
Yeah. I love how we slowly get him, like we get the hand from his point of view pushing open.
That
Then we get
close up
the
of his face.
yeah. Then he goes for the gun, popping it out, and he shoots
It's
a dude.
good art, man.
Yeah. No laughs, Kurt. I said drop it.
Yeah.
I love this part machine creep, also part man, and the part you do not want to hear, all cop.
And you know, Alan Grant is doing a good job of keeping sort of like the satirical tone that the movies have, you know, because like in a weird way, Robocop is almost a comedy on top of being an action movie because like it's satirizing so many things.
I know, especially when we get into
trying to be a little bit more straightforward. That satire is still seeping through.
Yeah, especially when we get to like the news reports. Like,
yes,
I'll talk about
and
those.
I'm so glad
those
they
are
kept
fucking so funny, dude. Because like you juxtapose, like when we get to it, I'll say it more. But you juxtapose something really serious that the people should care about, but then everybody's mainly focusing on the shit that's not important. You know?
Yeah.
But I love the action in here.
Yeah,
I love how he's like takes these guys
well
out, and then we see this dude off in the cut. Like, what's he doing? Why is he filming them? Right? And he's like, Darkstone's gonna ape for this footage.
I always love it in movies and comics, like when someone's trying to be inconspicuous, they got like a fedora and a trench coat, where like that just makes you stand out even more. But it's exactly like it's become a pop culture thing. Like that's, I mean, I love it. Again, this thing is playing, I think, with like genre tropes and satire. Like, although a kid could enjoy this book, I'm reading it as an adult now and seeing a lot more of the things that I see as an adult in the movie too.
Yeah, for sure, dude. This is not great for a young kid.
Pretty violent for a Marvel comic of the time.
The only difference is he doesn't kill in here.
Well, he does, but it's like not, you know, like it's not really shown.
Yeah. See, here they kind of show the viewpoint a little more, like with the all red, which I really dug. You know, you're getting like him thinking inside his head, which you don't have in the movies, right? Like that's a comic book thing. You know, he wants to question them. And again, this is something that we don't see as much in the movies, is him going on missions on his own.
Right.
You know, we don't really see that played out. This is the first time with the news, right? Like you're seeing like southern Spain reeling today after an invasion and 1 million plus refugees fleeing the great African drought. More on this later. And then we get to this stupid fucking fight at the arena. Like we get one block, one screen time of the fucking serious shit. And then it's like mostly we're talking about this like arena where people are fucking
it's crazy how Robocop predicted so much stuff when it comes to the media and the way, you know, like
I mean, look at that. Men, insulated suits trying to electrocute each other with tasers. So
I mean, it's like fucking UFC, bro. You know, like
but I mean, tasers? That's just pretty fucking crazy, dude. And then he just starts walking in.
You know, I want to just say that Robocop is such a fantastically designed character.
I agree.
Such a good visual.
Yeah, I love his visual, dude. That's why, like, even when they remade Robocop, like the modern one, like it doesn't look that far from the original. They made it a little sleeker, you know?
Yeah.
But like you don't really have to mess with this. Like it is such a great design. Remake. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I'm just talking about the poster that I've seen, but I love this obstruction of an officer of the law in the performance of his duties and offense. And he just fucking makes his way, and he fucking those metal things that he used to shoot, those like magnetized things, so he fucking just magnetizes them to the wall. And then we see these guys, these gladiators in these crazy ass fucking suits tasing each other, dude. It's such a wild fucking concept. And it must have been fun too for Alan Grant to like kind of like flesh some of this out. I wonder how much he was working with, you know, Orion, the production company that was doing a Robocop. How much of it did they like let him just kind of run rampant? Because like this is a licensed property. As speaking as somebody that works, you know, at a company that has licensed comics, they're very strict in terms of what they want to see done with their books. So I wonder how much leeway they were really given to kind of do what they wanted.
This period though, Marvel was doing a lot of licensing. I mean, they did like adaptations of like Hook, the Terminator movies, like Dune, like Muppet in the Babies. 80s and 90s, Marvel was doing a lot of licensed stuff, which they really don't do any other than Star Wars, but that's because, you know, everything is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Back then, they did a lot of licensing stuff.
Yeah, well, it all started with like Conan and Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, in the 70s. But
so you got Robocop heading to this ring to find out what's going on, how it ties into this guy that was murdered or attempted murder.
I love this, dude. This shit's so much fun, dude. Then we get Johnson, dude. So somebody at Nixco is trying to make their own Robocop called Nixcop. They gotta stop it. And then look, this random dude, the fucking metal jaw. You
Yeah.
know, with fucking shirt. Like, where did this guy come from? He's just like random. Like he's bringing him in. Got to book him, Sergeant. Biting an officer with intent to assault. I love this, man.
You got a lawyer, punk lawyer. Get me a fragging dentist.
Yeah.
You got Officer Lewis. You know, the great Angie Dickinson in the movie.
And now Robocop's like, oh, you need a little downtime, but you need a recharge. And he's like, I feel bitter. And then we get, because it being a number one, right? If you didn't know anything about Robocop, you're thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
You don't get any information. And this is here where we first see him with his faceplate off.
Yeah.
And now we see, like, he had a wife, he had a son. He loved both of them. He loved his job, loved his life. And then we see, dude, fucking Clarence, dude.
Clarence Boddicker, dude, one of the classic movie villains.
I forgot that it was the same actor that played Red Foreman for the 70s show. I was like, what the fuck? When I was watching, I'm like, how did I not? I mean, obviously I was younger. I didn't know who he was, but I love this sequence of him just like blasting him away. I got this problem.
He's so great in that movie too.
Oh, he's fantastic. Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
Yeah, that's directly from the movie. When he spits, when he gets arrested, he spits on the fucking form to sign it. Like,
look at this. Doesn't want to be a machine. Again, like when they created him, something that they don't talk about in here is they didn't realize that he'd be able to dream and that so much of his former self would be a part of Robocop and would kind of take over, And then we get this Nixcop.
Again, like threads, similar things that would be done in Robocop 2, where it's like he's going to be fighting like another sort of robot cop or what would have been a robot.
Blasting fucking, target practice and stuff like that. You got Darkstone, who sent this guy that we saw in the trench coat and fedora to kind of spy him. He's like, yeah, I got this X-ray film of Robocop in action shot on a camcorder with built-in analyzer. What you
they're trying to build their own Robocop force, and they're trying to see why theirs keeps failing, yet like OCP was able to get this prototype to work.
And I love this. They're gonna take the information. They're gonna pay him, dude. They're gonna fucking kill him. But it's crazy too, like the way they're showing this technology, right? That zooming in on the head, they see like how it's all done. And then here we go. This is the one that made me laugh, dude.
Yeah.
So they're talking about the Detroit Zoo has announced a breakthrough in the fight against cramped conditions and spiraling food costs for its 11,000 animals. Recent genetic experiments have produced the possibility of total stock miniaturization while doing nothing to inhibit species' natural tendencies. As of this moment, upwards of 100,000 sports, and they just goes like just pass it by, dude.
Yeah, and it opens with big news tonight as Spain has officially declared war on 4 northern countries. But more on that later.
Dude, so it's just like all these other things like that are more important than this fucking fight.
Yeah,
and it just goes right back to that, right? And then this miracle fucking bam, the plumber's bomb, and then we get these fucking guys, doing some fucking drug deals down in the alley, and Robocop comes in the shadows, makes short work of them, dude. I love this. I love that. It's just as simple as showing how the gun is bent. This where he's like spinning the gun too. I love that.
I love this. Phase 4 to pick up Arena Alley near combat zone. 3 walking wounded and 1 who forgot that drugs kill.
Yeah.
It's like, I love that this is all heading towards basically almost Robocop in a fucking wrestling.
It's crazy.
I mean, Robocop did come in and rescue Sting in a match. I forget who he was fighting, but that was right when the movie had come out. So Robocop,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube.
I gotta look that up. Yeah. I love this dude because he's like, how about this fucking hot dog? Banned additive disrespects to an officer of the law. You have 1 week to pay your fine.
So much when I read that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're keeping the satire in place. That's very Judge Dredd, like.
I love this dude. Him going straight into the ring, taking these dudes out. And there goes Detroit Steel. He grabs the fucking tasers. They have no effect on him. And the reverse polarity fucking shoots them off to the side. I love this, dude.
Yeah, Robocop is, it's a comic book concept. And it was, prime comic book material,
Oh, I agree, dude.
I wish they would. I know they've done them throughout the years. They've kept it. But, like, I think Robocop's one of those things that should consistently be in comic book form. I would read it.
I agree, dude. I totally agree with you. I wish somebody would do it. I don't know why it's kind of been out of the. I know Boom Studios, I feel like, is the last one to do.
Like, give it to Garth Ennis, bro.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And here we go, dude. The fucking Robocop taking the fucking thug back to jail, and then we see the Nixcops fucking come out. I love this. You're being very foolish. This is your last warning. Surrender while you can. And it ends there. I love this. Next issue, Murphy's Law.
What a great comic book. This was so much fun, you know. Like I'm gonna go back and keep reading my Robocop comics. Playing that game, which by the way is great, has put me in a very Robocop mindset. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I mean, like I said, I picked up a good chunk of these, so I'm probably gonna like dive right into them later today. But fun comic. I love Robocop. The movies are great. If you've never seen the movies, you know, you go check them out. Do yourself a favor. They're fantastic. And the comic books are just as much fun. And make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video drops. And on that note, we're out.